in this event, but we know them as Team USA, so still calling them that for now. We'll see if the name sticks going further. Anyways, with that said, we have a best out of 3 coming for you guys. Again, before we get into what's on the line, though, first things first, I'm Breaking CBK, and today is my co-caster. I'm going to be joined by Insania here of Internet Gangsters. Insania, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to this game.
Yeah, obviously this is two of the best teams out there right now, so expecting a great series here between these two guys. Obviously they played in Cycle number 1, and Team USA, up until yesterday, was the only team to actually beat Stay Green in a game recently, so they definitely have that going for them. But we'll see what they can manage against Stay Green here today. So, Insania, before we jump into this game there real quickly, I want to go over, so as far as what's on the line here, again, this is a best out of 3. Both teams have already qualified for the group stages, care of as a result of getting to the finals. Again, the top 2 from each qualifier make it on already. But what they're playing for here is actually some pretty nice headsets, to be honest. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it on screen real quickly to give it. Okay, so the first place team, the team that wins this series, they get the SoundBlaster Evo ZX headset. That's about a $230 value each of them, and then the runner-up team gets the SoundBlaster Evo headsets, about a $130 value. So that again is what is on the line here. They've already qualified to move further towards that $20,000 prize pool, but they get some sweet-ass headsets on top of it now. The winning team gets a little bit better headsets, it sounds like. So that's what's really on the line. Again, expecting a good matchup nonetheless here in Insania, so looking forward to it once again.
Oh yeah, definitely. And more than just the headsets, there's a lot of pride on the line, and
Yeah.
there's the seeding as well. Like, you want to have first seed. It's a big difference.
True.
As I'm sure many would agree, especially you could see it at the what's it called, the Hontor finals, where TDM dropped the second seed and were forced to play Complexity instead of maybe the slightly inferior team in Lions. But yeah, no. So I think it's really important for both teams, and they both really want to win the series for the best possible seed.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, definitely, going into those group stages there. It is important playing for that as well. So, but I think the biggest thing, though, as we like to refer to as well, that pride. And no doubt when these two teams are going at teams like this, there could be nothing on the line. They could just be simply playing for the sake of playing, and they would still be giving it their all to an extent. So, again, I'm expecting a great best out of 3 here. We'll see what happens. Insania, though, this game number 1, it is well on its way already. Let's take a look at actually what's going on here. We got Engineer, Lodestone, Scout, and Warbeast being banned up. Pebbles, Master of Arms, Tempest, Ophelia, and Keeper of the Forest. So Stay Green managing to get their Tempest and Keeper of the Forest combination here.
Yeah, and especially when you have the Pebbles, who's probably the best hero with early farm, just go take team fights with. You've set yourself up for an amazing lineup, and this is really as comfortable as Stay Green can possibly get, I think. Tempest, Keeper, with the Pebbles on top of it is really typical what they want to do. But I like the response from Team USA. They're this kind of a heal strategy, because the problem with running Tempest is that you often don't have a lot of burst damage, and you often rely on longer team fights. And what's the best way to deal with that? Well, it's to get healed. Get healers and heroes that don't die to the first burst, to the first wave damage. And that's exactly what Team USA is going for. So good response picks from Peter Pandem there on the Melbourne side.
Yeah, and you see the Bubbles final pick coming out, so definitely got that working for them. Speaking of that, by the way, real quickly, I'm sure people are already noticing here off the bat, but they are using a 6th man here, Leon Black. Been a while since we've seen him on the scene, actually, but he is playing here, of course, for Team USA in place of, it looks like, Tralfamador, aka Singularity, for whatever reason. So, he's stepping in here for this finals matchup. And I believe he also played in the first round for them, too, so it's not completely new by any means. I think he has been playing with them for a little bit now, but yeah, so as you're talking about with the drafting stage finishing up right there, it sounds like you're pretty confident with Team USA's draft as well, despite that strong lineup we see over there in Stay Green. So
yeah, definitely, both teams really have picked themselves good lineups against each other. Like, you can never deny that Team Tempest, Tree, and Pebbles are just great picks. There is no lineup that will just be like, oh, well, these guys are completely outdrafted. But I think what Peter is doing, as Hellborn, you're usually forced to respond pick to the Legion team. It's just he's picking a solid way to a lineup that he could beat them with. I could see them winning the game with.
Yeah.
So I really like both drafts so far. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know, again, it's kind of interesting to bring that up, too, how yesterday, Stay Green going up against Lion Esports Club in that semifinal matchup, we cast it here on Honcast, of course, it turned out being a great best-out-of-3 series. Lion Esports Club, despite drafting a lineup that honestly was pretty risky, it at least seemed right off the bat, going up against Stay Green's a lot of push-oriented style lineup, and they made it work. They won the second game, and game number 3 also came down to a base race to an extent. It was pretty epic in itself. So Stay Green was on the verge of nearly getting knocked out here of qualifier number 1 by Lions. So you kind of wonder if that's messing with them a little bit. I don't know if you got the chance to really watch that series in Sania, but
Yeah,
okay. So would you say that was just Lions also playing really good?
Lions have been a strong team for a long while now. Ever since the big mashup after DreamHack Summer,
Yeah.
Lions have been looking really strong. They've just not been able to bring that performance to Hontor, unfortunately. And I'm not really surprised they did that well against SG. I think they have it in them, and they've shown that they can take out down the better teams. But at the end of the day, I mean, SG is SG. They're really solid. I don't think they won't be phased by the fact that they dropped the game to Lions yesterday. I know from talking a lot to Kyle, like he's like, yeah, no. So yeah, no, this. Oh, interesting, Solstice.
Well, that kind of just got our attention right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the pick though against push. It's a very good hero against push. The ultimate from the hero just does so much damage. The only problem with him is that he has a long windup, and when you're going up against push, you know that they're gonna just go for the tower, group up, and try and bring it down. And the damage output from Solstice is absolutely amazing, and it's so easy to set it up. So I really like that pick from them.
You know, I've heard rumors at least, and I have seen a couple times in scrimmaging. We've seen Solstice pop up here and there. So it seems like the idea of the hero has definitely been practiced with, but as far as actually seeing him in the tournament matches, in the competitive play, still, yeah, I know we've seen him definitely. We have seen him before, but it's even been a while since we did, and I'm trying to remember.
We've actually ran them a couple of times.
Have
My own
you?
team.
Okay.
Like, oh wow.
Wow, Balfagor to finish off. So interesting. They're basically saying we're gonna match your push with our own push here. What do you make of that?
That's really interesting. Yeah, no, it's a weird pick actually. I didn't see that coming at all. But it's kind of Balfagor. Not only is he a great pusher, but he's a really good teamfight hero. And I think that's the main reasoning behind going for them right here. They want to be able to match Stay Green's teamfight abilities. And I just noticed something. This Solstice is probably going to be a laning Solstice in the middle lane together with the Master of Arms. And not a jungling one as he's usually ran. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this game out. I think they have a lot of options. Usually in this kind of a game you'll be like, okay, so who really has a late game? And I think it's hard to argue, but Stay Green doesn't, because they have both the Wretched Hag, who Chess is playing, who's going to scale really well into the later stage of the game, simply because USA did not have a lot of stuns. They don't have a lot of lockdown, and that just brings Hag from kind of semi carry position up to hard carry, when she's able to move around freely, drop those auto attacks, and really make her presence felt. So it's an interesting pick. It allows it gives USA some pushing power and really good team fight, but it kind of removes the potential of going late game for them, I feel. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see that progress here as far as this is concerned. By the way, oh my god, I thought that was Pebbles for a second, actually. When I was looking at the Solstice skin, I had to do a double take on that one, but sure enough, that actually is Solstice right there. So, we do see the Legion team here to start things off. Stay Green heading on over, looking to protect their jungle clearly right off the bat. You got Master of Arms. Yeah, it's also interesting seeing the players on all these heroes here on Team USA side. It's actually Pebbles going to be found right here. Charge coming out from Solstice. There's a charge shot as well. The Shelter port. Is it going to be a bloodlust kill? One more auto attack maybe? Yes, it is. Down goes Swinamelons there. Leon Black on Master of Arms actually getting the bloodlust kill. Swinamelons found himself completely by himself and up a little bit further than we're used to seeing, to be honest. Kind of just got caught out there.
Caught out. Yeah, no, I think he expected himself to be able to survive the burst and have his team turn down, but it doesn't seem like he really appreciated how useless Tempest is at level 1. He does really not provide anything at all. Nymphora, not the greatest stuns, and I'm surprised Stay Green went for this kind of a defend of their own jungle, which, I mean, of course it's great if you're able to pull it off, to secure Tempest farm, but going against the lineup, and with the lineup that they have, they basically have no presence at all at level 1.
Yeah.
It's going to be really rough. Something interesting, though, is that Riser is going for the boots build, which usually indicates that he's going in the opposing jungle, and yeah, they're gonna try and contest that short lane, as they read Stay Green's lanes, and they knew that it was gonna be an Amphora Pebbles on the short lane. However, Stay Green responded really smartly by swapping it up to the top lane right away.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the Keeper of the Forest down there, and then sure enough, yeah, Pebbles and Amphora at that top lane. So very interesting setup we have here going on in game 1 of the finals. Again, from just a couple of the hero picks to just how the lanes are being set up now. So it's going to be interesting to see how things progress right here. But yeah, sure enough, we are seeing that laning Solstice coming out, being played by well, I'm just going to say Zai. Obviously changing up his name recently, but we know him as Zai, so that's what we'll call him here. Ophelia, yeah, in that aggressive jungle, you see Keeper of the Forest going to spot him, try to push him out somewhat. But how do you see this playing out here? I mean, Keeper of the Forest going up against Ophelia. You do see right here, actually, Master of Arms going to start boxing him out now. Will Keeper need to go to the other jungle, you think?
Keeper's just gonna do whatever he can. He is in the suicide lane. He's just really trying to get experience, and he's not really gonna shut down Ophelia. But they've already taken away one of Ophelia's camps by themselves, which really hurts that hero if you're unlucky with the spawns. Luckily, she did get another Mino down there, so she's not gonna be completely shut down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tree's just gonna do whatever he can. He's using the minions to scout out Ophelia to keep track of her, which is a really smart play. And we'll see how long that goes on for, because if they're able to keep Ophelia down and not allow her to go for kills, and Minus is allowed to free farm his own jungle, well, the Hellborn jungle, then this could still be a great position for Stay Green. However, if Ophelia is able to set up kills, it's going to be a completely different story.
Yeah, I completely it's a good job of explaining, but I'm sitting here, for some reason, I just thought Keeper was in jungle, and yeah, that made no sense now that I think about what I was just asking right there, but good cover there, no, but we do see Wretched Hag versus Bubbles here in the middle lane. Kind of a matchup, if anything, you would expect to see in that side lane, but obviously here, being ran in that mid matchup, so that's kind of interesting too. You got Hag 6-3 so far, Bubbles at 5-2, so it seems like it's pretty back and forth here. Chessie versus B-Kid, how about that? Going at it as a true 1v1 in that middle lane, pretty much. So that too is actually kind of interesting. Master of Arms making that rotation all the way to the top lane, as you see right there, to give Balfagor, Peter Pandam, that assistance. Yeah, Peter playing the Balfagor, by the way. Again, goes back to the beginning. I was talking about how the roles here, the player roles, actually kind of interesting as far as Team USA is concerned. Leon Black is a support player as well, so clearly he is playing that main support here, and Peter stepping up in that Balfagor play for this game at least. So it's kind of fun to note.
I mean, Peter did play these kind of strength heroes back in the SGTY days, if you remember.
Yeah.
He used to play the Kraken. So, I mean, I'm sure he's comfortable on these strength heroes. And he's going to do a great job, so it's of course it's a shift up of roles, and it's always problematic as a team, but that's something you're going to have to deal with when you don't have your main 5. So
that is true. That is very true. Solstice again. So this year, you said you guys have ran it yourselves. I mean, first off, how do you expect this Solstice is going to build here in this game? What items do you expect to see from him right off the bat?
I personally like to go into Steam Boots. First of all, we normally jungle him, so it's not really going to be the same kind of a style. And it seems like he's more of a, he's going to be the main source of damage this game, and we'd like to run him as our kind of third source of damage when we do it. And that just removes emphasis from him, and he's going to be forced to go for BKB eventually this game. I'm interested to see when he goes for it. If he's going to go for it early to just secure the fact that he gets really good ultimates off and is able to use that stun in the team fights, which in itself is just a lot of damage. Or if he goes for kind of the more greedier build into maybe a Dawnbringer, to go for that farming, try and get the huge GPMs. And I mean, all of us who played TMM back when Solstice was considered to be crazy OP know that how effective that hero can be with good farm. So he has a lot of routes. I'd personally expect him to go for kind of more of that BKB teamfight build, which is why they picked Balfagor, I assume, to go for the team fights, try and win those. But going up against push, there's also always the fact that maybe you don't need the BKB to get the ulti off. And if he doesn't need it, why go for it? He could just as well go for the farming build, as he's getting ganked by Midas here.
Yeah, that was actually really close there at the top side, but in the end, gonna be fine. Actually coming out, the gank, not gonna be happening in the end. Tempest actually falling back onto Solstice. I was actually watching the top action, but Pebbles more than fine, falls back. They're pushing up the tower quite a bit, but he's gonna be fine. But you do see, the Tempest was thinking about coming over, but in the end, Solstice gonna be fine in that lane for now. Tempest back into the jungle, and Minus gonna continue his farm over there. So, but there is definitely a lot of push when Tempest and Keeper of the Forest come together. Are you expecting that to happen sooner than later at this point?
They're probably gonna want to farm up Pebbles, try and get his Steam Boots at least, get some build-up items on him to make him a big threat in the team fights before they go for the pushes. But yeah, it's definitely to be expected. We've all seen Stay Green play this kind of a lineup, and oh wow,
Yeah.
not entirely.
Just got to, I had caught it on camera. That was just simply Bubbles getting caught with the shelter on cooldown. Wretched took advantage of it, dove in with the blink, and then sure enough finished him off right there. So good catch by Chessie on a Beaky there in the middle lane.
Yeah. No, I mean that's actually a big swing. Bubbles Hag is a really even matchup, and you'd usually not expect too much to happen out of it. It's basically the better player usually comes out ahead, and this just puts them at a good position and puts Stay Green a little bit further ahead. They have the Nymphoir Pebbles in the long lane, which is not really the most effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going for a kill, it looks like. Nope.
Yeah, Balfagor taking some response right there. Going to be found by bottom lane. Yes, also the Tempest. All they're going to come out actually. Keeper has a root as well. Will they be forced to use it? Wretched coming in right here. Solstice trying to run. Again, he still has that root. Might not be necessary at the end. Double damage, Wretched. Yeah, not necessary. Chessie will chase him down, and out comes the kill. So Solstice just simply getting collapsed on. Again, it was a matter of time, you could feel. And Zai even calling out for help there in chat. I kind of wonder if it almost hinted at that a little bit, that he knew what was coming as well. So gets taken out. Good collapse right there, taking advantage. Oh, feeling the top lane, by the way. Look at what he's doing right here. Riser thinking about going for the flank. Oh, they want to collapse. Yeah, big tower dive going to be coming in right here. And Nymphoir needs to be careful. Nice seal to start that, actually. Stuns the Minotaur both ways. We have a port coming in. Slow on to Pebbles right there with port climbing. There's the charge shot. The nuke's coming out. Down goes Pebbles, but at what cost right here? Big bat blast coming out from Wretched Hag right there. Missed Ophelia, though. It hit basically everything else. I don't know if it's going to be the kills at the end, though. Master of Arms is fairly low. Nymphora's going to be fine. Wretched Hag chasing right there onto Ophelia. Gets the kill with the Sonar Scream, and now Solstice charging onto Wretched Hag. Gonna get that charge off. Don't know if he has enough damage, though, with Bubbles, maybe. Kelfil comes out. Wretched Hag, she cannot play. She cannot do anything else. She's trying to run. Not going to happen. The chase is successful. Meanwhile, Nymphoir is still being chased down. Regurgitate. Balfagor gets the kill right before his death. But Keeper of the Forest will finish him off in response. And I think it might be... Nope, not over yet, actually. Bubbles going to get cut off. He will fall. And a lot of kills happening throughout all of that, man. That started with a dive at the top tower. When it's all said and done, I mean, I guess Stay Green came out on top.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've lost their Pebbles, which is always a shame. You don't want to lose your main farmer, and he's the hero you want to get that early farm on. But in response, almost all the heroes that were struggling on their team are doing amazing now instead. Minet's got a lot of gold there. He got bounced up. Keeper, a lot of gold and experience there. So two other main pushers, which their lineup really is what it's all about, is the Keeper and the Tempest. Got a lot of gold there. So even though you might be thinking, shit, Pebbles died, they got a lot of gold on two heroes that could really use it. And if they go for the teamfight items, like Astrolabe and Mana Ring and such, it could be a really big deal when they start pushing.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, definitely a good teamfight for Stay Green. Pebbles is able to get some experience at the end as well when he respawns and TP's in.
You're not going
top lane. Keeper of the Forest actually in a little bit of trouble right here. Not really. They didn't have dust or anything. Just simply trying to harass him and box him out of the jungle right there. And they will accomplish that. Solstice going at it with Wretched Hag here at the bottom lane. You see it is nighttime now, so Solstice changing forms there, of course. And getting the different skill set as a result. You know, Solstice, again, a very interesting hero. By the way, real quickly, I want to know, I did update the interface, obviously, by now. I do apologize, guys. I forgot to change that right off the bat. Doing a couple of different things here, so I got distracted, but it should be good now. Anyways, going back to Solstice here. Do you look for that timing as far as when he goes nighttime? Top tower push, by the way, coming out. Do you look for that timing when he goes nighttime? Do you change that gameplay? As actually, speaking of him, he's trying to chase right here. He's in some trouble, trying to charge to get away. Not going to happen, though. Zai will fall. But again, further to that, well, what do you do with Solstice there in that case?
There's a big difference between his day and his nighttime form.
Yeah.
The nighttime form just does more damage, has more utility. It offers us a fear instead of a slow. It offers an Invis charge that gives you slow and a lot of attack speed. So he's basically more of a carry in the night form, whilst in the day form, he has a stun on his charge, but instead he has a lot more farming abilities. He doesn't do as much damage. And I think, of course, when you're playing as a Solstice team, as it progresses onto the later stage of the game, you will want to be fighting during the nighttime. But at this point in the game, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest difference. You don't really change your playstyle. It's not like the Night Stalker of Dota 2, where it's like a completely shift of gameplay.
Yeah.
However, in the later stage of the game, once he starts getting those carry items and the nighttime form, you can really just feel how he does so much more damage there. And you will want to be using that. Those 7.5 minutes that you have in night form as a Solstice are just much more impactful.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
very.
need to get the items first.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's very important to know too, just in case for those. Hey, definitely, I wasn't aware of that until Solstice came out. You know, really pay attention to that time because before that, sure, there's a couple things as far as uphill attacks and getting vision in general, which is important. But Solstice really made a point that now you really should pay attention to that time. Know whether it's day or night, and it's 7.5 minutes as you stated. So every 7.5 minutes is when it changes from day to night. So. Definitely to keep that in mind here, as far as especially with the Solstice being in the game. Balfagor, by the way, he actually went for the early Amulet of the Exile, but it looks like he is going the Helm of the Black Legion now. He's with Bubbles here in the middle lane. It looks like they want to try to maybe make something happen on the Pebbles right here, but Pebbles played a little safe, and then Nymphora also fall back, or has behind him even, so... he is there to support, but it looks like Balfour may be thinking about, yep, minions are spawned. Ophelia's here as well. You see the Chuck coming out, trying to do a little bit of damage to the minions right there, but we're going to see a little bit of a push coming out by Team USA, perhaps. As you think this is good timing from them?
They feel that they're not doing the greatest in laning phase, and when you're not doing great in laning phase, you need to swap it up, and that's what they're doing. They're changing directions of the game before it snowballs out of hand. Yeah. So, yeah, no, here we go.
Balfour diving, Tower Wolf falls, gonna try to box him out right there, but now he's in a pretty bad position. Now comes the Meteor, keeping the force trying to collapse on him. Balfour gets the hell on Newer Thoth though, and now Pebbles dropping. Pebbles gonna fall right there. Balfour does go down, but the Legion team in retreat mode, or are they? Tempest ultimate coming out, locking out Master of Arms as well as Bubbles. A big Bat Blast. On top of that, Chessie picks up the hat trick, and I think State Green definitely coming out on top right there. Pebbles the only one to fall. Again, guys, I do apologize. I think the stream itself is fine, which is kind of weird, but obviously they're in-game. I am getting a little bit of lag, so I do apologize for that. But anyways, the fight does happen. They get the hat trick on a Wretched Hag right there. Maybe a little bit too much of a commitment there, you could say, by Team USA.
Yeah, they go for the tower dive, which I really don't agree with. I mean, they know that they're behind, which is the reason they go for the push, I assume. And just running behind the tower, trying to force a team fight when you're 4 versus 5, because Zai was nowhere to be found. He was up at the top lane farming. Is not what you want to do, and especially not against the Tempest Tree lineup. Both those heroes are in their most comfort when they're able to counter-initiate, when they're able to sit out, wait for the first wave of initiation, and then just jump in after the stuns are on cooldown. And that's exactly what they were allowed to do. USA overextended it, which gives Tempest and Keeper just so much more power. And right now, Team State Green is in a fantastic position. Yeah, 2,700 gold lead, 8,200 experience lead. How about that? That's actually growing quite a bit. Only 13 minutes into this game right now. That is actually a huge experience lead to have. When you look at the XPM chart, you got Tempest, Hag, and Keeper the Forest. So a pretty comfortable lead of anyone on the Hellborn side. Solstice, by the way, I believe I just saw him finish the Insanitarius. It looks like that's what he's going for at least. I don't know if he hasn't fully finished yet, but I believe I even saw the pattern purchased right there. We do see at the bottom lane, Balfagor putting some pressure on the tower with Master of Arms and Bubbles, so they're going to try to push it in, but response is already here from State Green. Pebbles constantly using that Chuck, by the way, to do the creep clear, and you see that, so... It's a really good way to use Nymphora's mana. They're using Pebbles as their counter pusher, and a lot of the times when we see heroes like Master of Arms, we see them position themselves at the tower before the push comes, and that's what State Green have been doing with Pebbles and Nymphora this game. They've been using the mana from Nymphora to get Pebbles' farm. Just defend towers with it. Don't let Team USA start snowballing too much with their heroes. So just good usage of all their heroes. Even though they're not able to use it in 4 TP to the fullest extent, they're still making use of that hero with the mana. Yeah. As they actually go for an FTP. Yep, Nymphora, speaking of that, TPing him right here. Ophelia, all of a sudden, Riser had no clue, gets completely collapsed on. 4 heroes end up showing up. Invis Keeper, Wretched Hag also coming over. That's just Riser just simply like, okay, well, they ganked me. Nothing much you can do about that. So, again, bottom lane, maybe that's where they're going to try to take advantage now for Team USA is heavy pressure that bottom tower, and that is what they're doing. But Stay Green in the meantime. They are going to push the top secondary tower here. And again, you see that aggressive use of that Chuck, as you mentioned, with Nymphora. You can spam that mana onto Pebbles, though. Keep it up. And this is going to be another tower kill for them as well. So it's going to work out for the better in State Green in the end, it looks like. Once again, as Wretched Hag and Tempest are pushing in the middle lane, it looks like Team USA, they want to keep this going, though. Again, they know they're behind. So I guess they don't have much of a choice to an extent, but they need to get back, don't they? Definitely, whenever somebody starts pushing your base like this, the reasoning behind it is you want to force the other team back. You're not expecting to get a lot of team base damage done. Oh, initiation happens. No follow up on the Zai ulti there. Kinda. Oh, did he actually ultimate right there? I didn't even notice, yeah. Yeah, no, he's a little bit under level. You want to be a little bit ahead of Solstice. He's only level 10 now. He wants the level 2 ulti so you can really just see half the health bars of the entire team disappear when he pops the ult. So he's not quite setting at the farm that he wanted to be. He went for Insanitarius, which is kind of a team fight build, and I completely forgot that it was Zai playing the Solstice, so you can't really predict his items. They're always, yeah.
It's hard to do that. Meanwhile, Solstice does get cut off right there, so Caster Skir's coming into play. And he was just simply trying to walk uphill a little bit, but obviously you see the map control right now by Stay Green, and that's where Solstice just ran into the death trap basically. So they clean up the kill into him. It's still fairly early on in the game though. It's only 25 seconds before he resurrects right here. But Stay Green gonna try to capitalize. They're gonna push it in the top lane. You look at the items that they have. Right now it's an Astrolabe roller. Astrolabe Ring of Sorcery as far as their team items go. They do have the Ring of Teacher, but they got plenty of push to work with. And Team USA doesn't seem like they can do much about it right here. Shotgun a Master of Farms. The portal key used by Pebbles to get that initiation. Easy kill to Leon Black. And this is gonna be a melee that reacts on top of it. So Stay Green making a statement here in game 1. I don't know if Team USA has much hope left. They're going to try something right here. Balfgor coming in with the flank. He has that hell on Newer, trying to get the 80+ charges. The healing touch coming out. Could be a lockdown, though. Will he even get it off? No, he will not. Balfgor falls. He is not buying back. Oh, geez. Stay Green just rolling over Team USA here in game number 1.
Yeah, that looks like a little bit of miscommunication there from between the USA team. Wow.
Oops. Not the biggest deal in the world, though. Bafflast comes out. Tempest Ultimate is going to be used. Ophelia's not caught in it, but it doesn't matter. Quad kill? Yeah, quad kill. Gotta go for the Annihilation. No, she will not. Limp steals it. Limp prevents the Annihilation.
That was a kill from his brother.
That's true.
Yeah, no, but I think the big point of like where this game really went south for Team USA was at that middle fight where they overextend, they get caught out, and 4 of their heroes die.
Yeah.
And after the runic shift, I do believe you called the patch.
Yeah.
It's really a big deal. You need to be careful with those team fights. You cannot allow your team to get completely wiped out like that. The experience charts, as you pointed out as well, just goes completely wrong. And 2 bad team fights from Team USA. One at the top tower dive, the second one at the middle tower dive, and it just put Stay Green at such a good position. And even though Swindle wasn't doing too hot on that Pebbles, the other heroes were doing amazing. So you gotta be careful for those as well. Chessie 80 CS, but still sitting at 540 GPM. It's incredible. It's got so many kills in the team fights.
Yeah, that was definitely, again, your classic case of Stay Green just getting it going, and especially with that push team fight, and you just weren't going to stop it. So again, you look back at Team USA's lineup, the idea that they went with the different kind of Solstice. It sounds like you liked that pickup though.
Yeah.
Could you say the draft kind of went wrong though with the Balfagor, or did you at least see the reasoning behind that in the end? I mean,
I personally did not like. First of all, I have to say I didn't realize the Solstice was not in the jungle.
Yeah.
But when you look at Stay Green's lineup, it was really obvious they were going to go with a Keeper Suicide, ideally, a Pebbles Nymphoria in the short lane, because you don't want to put Nymphoria in the middle lane. She's not really that strong of a laner. They were going to Suicide Hag middle, and that basically means the Hellborn jungle is going to be free. You can put as greedy of a hero as you want in there, and what better pick than Solstice? Solstice is really strong against push, and this is something we ran against Stay Green ourselves. But it's kind of a little bit of a mismatch when I realize, oh wow, yeah, right, they got Ophelia as well. And then it becomes kind of an iffy pick. Do you want to lane him in the middle lane? Do you want to farm him like that? And then I start feeling that the hero isn't used to his full extent. But yeah, no, the Balfagor pick is really where I wouldn't have gone with that pick if it was myself playing.
Yeah.
I would have gone with something else that I could have probably forced a late game as well. I just feel like Stay Green at the end of the draft, they had an advantage in every stage, except for maybe the laning, which they managed to salvage by sending Pebbles and forward to the long lane. So.
Yeah, they made the adjustment, as we stated from the very beginning, and obviously it paid off in the end. So, Stay Green takes the first game here over Team USA, Fade to Black, TTEs, whatever the hell you want to call them. This team over here.